It's March 22nd, 2020. We're living in the time of the coronavirus. Never in the whole history of humanity on the earth have we all been in the same place at the same time. Afraid, watching deaths mount, watching people get sick, listening to the warnings, listening to the advice, the retractions of advice. It's a very, very dangerous and scary, and also a time filled with possibility. And I am compelled today to tell about a story from my own life. When I was young, up until the time my parents got divorced when I was 12, my father was an alcoholic. And when he would get drunk, he would find things to accuse my mother of and then beat her up for them. He gave her black eyes. He beat her up. He threw her head against the wall. And I would get up in the middle of the night and try to save her. In the morning, my father would be contrite, full of remorse. He would promise never to do that again. And by the time I was about 8 years old, I knew that that wasn't true. I knew that he would do it again and that it would probably get worse. But instead of falling into despair, I found a way to know joy in my backyard. It was just an ordinary backyard in Omaha, Nebraska. But I could find there confirmation that beauty and death and life, fighting, loving, craziness, insanity, gorgeousness, singing, they all existed. They existed when I could see a bee diving into the throat of a beautiful iris. I could see this truth when I saw a mouse with its head bitten off by a cat. I could see it in the way the wind moved through the trees and the way that a drop of rain would have rainbows at the end of one little needle of the pine tree. And it was as if the yard was telling me that when you acknowledge the gravity of what you're going through, when you know the truth and don't deny it, don't pretend that my father's going to get better. Don't pretend that things are all right, but know the truth, that when you can do that, you can find beauty. You're open, you're vulnerable, and beauty will arise. It'll pierce through that darkness. And this is a truth I have known my whole life, better than any other truth. And I want to say that during this time of the coronavirus, it's a truth we all need to know. That by acknowledging the reality of what's going on, not falling into fear, but at the same time not trying to cover it up and saying it's nothing. Oh, we'll get over it. There's plenty of food. Life is fine. By really acknowledging it and also acknowledging the fear that comes up for us, opening ourselves up to reality, we can also open up to the reality of beauty. Even if you're stuck in your apartment, you can go outside like the Italians did and make beauty on your balcony, neighbors singing together across a courtyard. You can watch the moon rise in the sky and set. The stars come out. You can be grateful for the beauty and the continuity of the way the stars and the planets move in the sky. Listen to the birds. Feel gratitude for the things in your house, the little objects that mean things to you, for the people who you love. Reach out and be in touch with other people and feel so grateful that you have the people in your life who are there. Take precautions and at the same time, remember your life. Know that beauty and joy are like two feathers in your hands. Beauty and joy in one hand and sorrow and grief in the other. We can have them both. We don't have to choose. We don't have to say, just because I'm afraid, there's no joy. Joy doesn't count. It's inappropriate. And nor do we have to say, I feel joy, therefore there's no such thing as danger and fear with the coronavirus. Both are these little feathers in our hands. A balance. Finding and making beauty creates joy in a time of sorrow. This is a truth, and we can all use it now more than ever.